When the pastor needs money, we fundraise, but when the people suffer, we are told to just pray. Let's talk about the hypocrisy we've normalized in the name of faith. Into many churches today, we've created a dangerous double standard. When the pastor needs a new car, a house, a sound system, a vacation, or a building expansion, we fundraise. But when a widow in the back row can't pay her rent, we tell her, have faith, sister, God will make a way. This is not Christianity, this is spiritual manipulation dressed in holy robes. It's high time that people realize that the pastor is not the mission. We were never called to build a kingdom around a man or woman with a microphone. The early church wasn't a stage show, it was a family. In this case, they shared everything so no one would go without. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need, and that is according to Acts 2 verses 45. But today, the congregation gives sacrificially, while the leadership often lives in excess, and if anyone dares to ask questions, they're labeled rebellious or faithless. That's not discernment, that is a cult behavior. So, until when will the double standard continue? The pastor is covered in prayer and honor, but the struggling church members are covered in silence. The church holds a fundraiser to upgrade the sound system, but ignores or rather prays for the man who hasn't eaten in 2 days. The church creates an emergency fund for the pastor's hospital bills but tells a sick child's parents to just pray and believe. If this is what we've become, then we've strayed far from Jesus. He didn't come to build temples for elite leaders. He came to serve, to lift the lowly, to feed the hungry, to break the power structures that put religious leaders on thrones. So don't be spiritually gaslighted anymore. Just so you know, you are not less holy because you're poor, and you are not lacking faith because you need help. If your church only mobilizes for the pastor's needs but spiritualizes away the pain of the people, you are not in a church, you're in a religious business. God is not dumb. He hears the cry of the oppressed. And he will hold accountable every leader who used his name to manipulate people into giving while ignoring the cries of the broken. Woe to you, teachers of the law, you devour widows' houses and for a show make lengthy prayers. Therefore you will be punished more severely, and that is according to Matthew 23 verses 14. So wake up, church. Stop worshiping personalities, stop funding egos, stop calling greed anointing. Instead, start feeding the hungry, housing the homeless, helping the single mothers, covering the unemployed, and lifting the broken, because that's what real church looks like. And if you're in a church where the pastor lives in luxury while the people suffer in silence, you should run, because that's not a shepherd, that's a wolf.